Good morning and welcome to Algebra 1 Honors. Okay, so I looked at your homework assignments. Let's just say that a lot of you had a lot of trouble with graphing a piecewise function. So let's try again. All right, I'm going to go through another example and hopefully we find greater success with this. So let's try it, okay? I'm going to give you a piecewise function on the board and you should be able to write this down. F of x equals bracket 3 if x is less than or equal to negative 2, x plus 1 if negative 2 is less than x is less than 3, and negative 1/2 x plus 4 if x is greater than or equal to 3. Okay, write it down. I'm going to go through it again, but I want you to follow along. Pretty please. First thing is I'm going to put up a coordinate grid. Obviously, it's not going to be, letter perfect because I'm doing it by hand, but this is what we need to do, all right? So I'm going to put it over here. You should draw one or maybe even print out some graph paper so that you have what you need. I'm going to try to make it as clear as possible. I'm going to go up and out on 5 to all sides. All right. So, coordinate grid is drawn. I need to take each piece of the piecewise function calmly and step by step. The first piece says f of x equals 3. A lot of you had a lot of trouble with what that means. It means the output is 3. 3 is a y value. For any x less than or equal to negative 2. So I'm going to go to the point it's directing me at. We're going to use this as an input. So when x is negative 2, y is going to be 3. That's what it says. It's a constant. So at negative 2, 3, I'm going to put a solid dot. It is solid because it says less than or equal to. So when x is less than or equal to negative 2, y is 3. Now it says less than or equal to negative 2. So x less than moves to the left. It's telling me y is going to be 3. That's a horizontal line. It's saying that y is always 3 for any value of x that is at or before negative 2. That is all for that portion. Constants like that, without an x, are not hard to graph. They're horizontal. They exist, but they're horizontal. Now the next piece requires a little math. It says x plus 1 if x values are between negative 2 and positive 3. So I'm going to use both of those numbers and figure out those end points. Plug in the negative 2 first. Negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1. That means when x is negative 2, y is negative 1. That is a coordinate we need to graph. The symbol was less than, not or equal to. So it's an open dot at negative 2, negative 1. You should also know it's an open dot because we already have a value at negative 2 in the closed dot right there. It's a function. It can't have two outputs. Now I have to figure out where it's going. Well, the other end point is 3. So I'm still taking x plus 1, the equation we use on this interval, and I'm going to plug in the number 3 now, which is 3 plus 1, which is 4. That tells me when x is 3, y is 4. Also, it's going to be an open dot because it just says less than, not or equals. 3, 4 is an open dot up here. Now, I found the beginning of that interval and I found the end of that interval, which means I connect them with as straight a line as I can. And I'm done with that portion of the piecewise function. Now, the last portion of the piecewise function uses the equation negative 1/2 x plus 4. And it's going to work for any x that is greater than or equal to 3. So plug in 3 and see what you get. Negative 1/2 times 3 plus 4 is negative 1½ plus 4, which is 2½ So when I plugged in 3, I got 2½ with a closed dot. 3, 2½ is right here. Now, what happens from there? Well, it works for any x that's above 3 also. You can either use the slope or choose a number that's more than 3. Either which way, it's going to work. I kind of prefer to use the slope. It's not hard. It's negative 1/2. Down 1 to the right 2. If I go down 1 to the right 2, I'm over here. And that means that it's going to continue. And arrowhead, please, because it says it continues. That's it. If you wanted to plug in a value, choose a number more than 3. How about the number 4? Half of 4 and negative is negative 2. And negative 2 plus 4 is 2. So at 4, we'd be at 2, which is right here. It's exactly where I went anyway, except I chose to use the slope. That's the graph of the piecewise function. Please understand, if your lines are overlapping anywhere and would fail the vertical line test, it's wrong. It can't. It can never have a vertical portion either. Some of you guys have vertical pieces. That doesn't make any sense. These are step-by-step substitutions and logic. Let's do one more. This time I'll give you one that was from the worksheet from yesterday, that was due today, that had a, let's say, varied success. So here is problem from the worksheet. The f of x equals x plus 1 for x less than 0, negative x plus 1 for 0 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 2, and x minus 1 for x greater than 2. In case you goofed and you want to try it again, why don't you do that now? Pause the video and then play and see if it's right. I'm going to make my coordinate grid. 1, 2, 3, 4 on all sides should probably be enough because, as you can see, the domain values are 0s and 2s, so I shouldn't have to go too far out because the domain values don't go very far out. I'm going to take the first piece, x plus 1. I only have the one input, which is using a 0. 0 plus 1 is 1, and that's the coordinate 0, 1. It says for x less than 0, so it's an open dot, at 0, 1. Now, where does it go from there? Well, it's not horizontal because there is an x in this piece. So just choose a number less than 0 to see where it's going. I'm going to choose the number negative 1 to see where it's going. Negative 1 plus 1 is 0. So at negative 1, it's at 0. That's right here, which means it's going in this direction with an arrowhead. Okay? That takes care of the first piece. The next piece is negative x plus 1. And we have these two endpoints for the segment. We're going to do each one at a time. Plug in the 0 first. Negative 0 plus 1 is still just 1. That's the coordinate 0, 1. It says less than or equal to, so it's a closed dot. Hey, but look, 0, 1 is already there as an open dot. Now it gets filled in because it exists there for this segment. Now try the 2. Negative 2 plus 1 is -1. So 2, -1 is the next dot. Close dot, because it says less than or equal to. So 2, -1 is a closed dot. Because it begins and ends that segment, I connect them with a line segment. The last piece says x minus 1 for any x above 2. So plug in 2. 2 minus 1 is 1. So that's the coordinate 2, 1 with an open dot. 2, 1 with an open dot. Where does it go? Well, just like the previous one, we can choose a number more than 2, or we can use the slope. Either which way is fine. Let's choose a number this time. What's a number more than 2? Let's try the number 4. What's 4 minus 1? Well, 4 minus 1 is 3. So that's the coordinate 4, 3, which is where this line's going to go. So 4, 3 is up here. So this is going in this direction. And that's it. That's the answer. That's all you got to do. Okay? I know that you all can do this. You have to take it patiently, one step at a time, and just listen to the steps. Show the work. It doesn't take that long, and it's not that hard if you follow these procedures. So please try and try again. So, in order to help practice, just attached to the classroom, a single problem worksheet. It's one problem, with a coordinate grid given to you. And it's large enough that you don't have to struggle to see it. Graph this one problem and send it to me as soon as possible, but no later than tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. And let me know if you have questions. Email me. I've been answering your emails. I still will. If you want a Google Meet, let me know. If you want one as a class, just let me know. It's not a problem. I can do it at the time. In fact, today, I will have a Google Meet open at the start of each class. If you don't come in within 10 minutes, I'm just going to close it, but you can always email me and we can reopen it. I could always have a Google Meet with you one-on-one or small group or the whole class. Just let me know. Okay? Have a great day. Get to work. Submit it ASAP, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.